Okay, hello. Yes, after my holidays and the big new update which I brought to you by after my holidays, I want to tell you something about the new capabilities of simulator setup and the new configuration possibilities. We are here at Discord, and as always, feel free to jump in with questions if you have. Um, And for all others, is the recording, which will be published on YouTube later on. So let's start. As I said, the latest update to Simulator Controller um, brings a lot of new capabilities for the configuration. Um, which is normally handled by simulator setup. But for the experts, I want to repeat that there is also a low-level configuration utility which allows you to get even deeper into all the stuff. And there were always a lot of complaints about simulator controller to be too complicated or too complex to set up. And no, I can't promise you that it's as easy as setting up an app on an iPhone, but it's got easier, and we will see this today. The session today is mostly interesting for all those of you who already has a running configuration which has been created before 5.3, and I want to show you how to migrate your configuration to use the new possibilities. Okay, let's start simulator setup. The problem was, to be honest, to remain compatible with old configurations, but also open up the door for getting up and running as fast as possible. And I managed that by introducing a so-called basic setup and the extended setup, which all of you might already know because that's the the myriad of pages following here in the setup wizard. The basic setup, in fact, is only one page, and it is possible to create a running configuration with this one page, which we will see later on. But it is as I have my full configuration here just open, it is not possible to select basic setup at the moment because this is prevented by the tool, because the tool realizes that there is already a complex configuration and there might be some conflicts with the basic setup. And if you want to migrate your configuration so that it's compatible with the basic setup, you first have to visit the presets page and make some changes there. Okay, let's go to the preset page. As you can see, I have two presets in my old configuration. One is the push-to-talk behavior, which was introduced quite a while ago so that you can toggle between press and talk or hold and talk for your push-to-talk button. It's a kind of personal flavor who prefers which method. And I have a very complex configuration addition using the names and voices of the assistants. This is a patch file which with additional configuration options and settings which are added at the end of the generation of the wizard to the configuration which has been generated by the wizard. And this is a reason why the basic setup might be incompatible, and because I overwrite a lot of stuff here using the patch file, and better safe than sorry, so that the basic setup will not allow you to activate it while such a complex patching is active. So what we have to do now is we need to put this aside, delete all presets, go back to the first page and activate the basic setup. The original purpose of the names and voices of the assistants was that you can tweak the different assistants, change their names, choose a specific voice for the voice generation, change talking speed, and so on. And this is now part of the basic setup, so it isn't needed anymore. I still need all the other stuff, but for the moment we can ignore this. I put this aside and remove both these presets. So make a backup copy of your current configuration patch if you need this again afterwards. But for now, we can safely remove those presets. You can see here in the left list that these presets are not available anymore for good reasons, because all this, what these presets are doing is now possible with the simple basic setup. So I deactivated or deprecated all these presets. The list of available presets has become much smaller, much shorter, and all the things here has gotten easier. There's still the possibility for experts to create a configuration patch. We will use this later on to insert all my other stuff again. But for now, we do not use any presets. Okay, then let's go back to the beginning, choice of configuration method. And now we can click here. It's now available. And if we step to the next page, you will see a very simple user interface, which is also available for the first-time user. He will only see this simple page. All the installation of additional software like SOX, Near Command, all the runtime libraries for .NET, C++, and everything I need for Simulator Controller so that everything is up and running will be automatically installed now. So you don't have to install anything here on the following pages. If you are a first-time user, everything will be done automatically once you have visited this page. This page gives you access to the most simple configuration options which are needed to get Simulator Controller up and running as fast as possible. These are the settings for the user interface language, including unit choices, the push to talk button. Now you have the choice for the two methods here, hold and talk, press and talk. I don't want to talk about custom at the moment. It's a very, very techy thing to create a push to talk button on your Stream Deck. And the list of simulators which has been detected by the setup wizard, and most important here, the possibility to customize the different assistants. And yes, I will now recreate the settings I had in the preset. My engineer is named Tom. My strategist is named Andrew. And my spotter is Marcel. They all talk English, and now I have the choice to use different languages here, and I can go even further by clicking here on the settings button, and here I can, for example, choose the Azure Cognitive Services. Now I have to enter the credentials back again, which I had previously here in my patch file. I won't do this for now, but use the normal .NET. And I also can here adjust talking speed, volume, pitch, and so on separately for each assistant. Okay, now it's a girl, so I name her Anna. One more interesting thing here is that you can pre-listen to all your settings.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
So you can check whether your talking speed is
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog
as you want it, and so on. Once you have entered all this, you can press here on this finish line button and a new configuration will be created. For the beginner, only with voice recognition, so normally no button box control or stuff like that. But if you already have a full-blown configuration created at the following pages, you will also get all these configuration choices when you press here, so you don't have to visit the later pages if you only want to change the name or the voice for one of the assistants. Okay, we can go to the next page, and now if we go back, we can always revisit this page like before. Now let's go back to the presets. I now want to reintegrate all my special stuff, special controller modes for my button boxes, voice commands for different assistant and controller actions and so on. So I need the configuration patch. And it will create this patch file as before. Now it's empty with a lot of commands with examples for you to choose from. This might be very helpful to understand what you can do here, besides reading the documentation. And I will add back all the stuff I had here in my patch file, except the things I had in there for my race assistance, because this is already part of the basic configuration. So now it's back in. I save this file. And let's go back to the first page. We can't select the basic method anymore, but there is help. As I said.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, you can.
You didn't select the configuration patch from left to right. You didn't put it on the right.
I think I did it. It's here.
Oh, I thought you didn't. Okay, sorry.
Otherwise, it won't have created this file.
Okay.
No?
Sorry.
Okay. No problem. No problem. So let's go back here. So, yeah, basic is not available anymore. Simulator setup is better safe than sorry. It just prevents that any contradicting or conflicting configurations can be created, but it allows you to override this. We now know that in the configuration patch file is nothing configured which might conflict with the voice control configuration in the basic area. So it is allowed now to hold down the control key and click on basic. and it is available again. This is also here written, so if you ever want to visit the basic setup page again, and you know you won't have any configuration conflicts using your presets, you can use the control key, activate it, and here it is.
Can I just ask to remind where the configuration patch is located normally?
Yes, that's simple. You can, by the way, always go here to the presets page and double click on it, so it will be opened. But all the configuration stuff for the wizard is located in your documents folder, simulator controller, setup, and there it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So if we now go to the last page and generate a configuration, it will use the voice control settings from the basic page and all the other stuff I have in my configuration with all the button boxes and stream decks I have configured from the full configuration. So we can finish now and a new configuration will be created. And if we now start, for example, simulator configuration to low level, check whether everything is okay, we will find, oh, it switched to German. I will change this, start again. Go to the plugins, the race spotter, and here you see the spotter has been named Anna and uses the Zera voice as we have chosen. So this is the main change you have to do if you want to use the new configuration options. You can still stick to your current configuration as long as you never move a preset which has been deprecated back to the right, to the left, sorry, then it's gone. Once you have deleted it, you can never reactivate it. So as you can see here, names and voices of the race assistants is no longer available. So as long as you use your old presets, you can use them. But I will recommend to use the more simple setup. It's much more intuitive, and I think there is more stuff coming in the future to get things easier step by step. Another big change with simulator setup is that it's now almost compatible with simulator configuration. I have just switched the language back to English, although I formerly had selected German as my main language for the user interface. And let's see if this has been incorporated into the current setup. No, it hasn't. Okay, that was the idea, but I'm still working on that. The idea is that changes you made in simulator configuration are more and more recognized by the wizard, which works quite differently. But yeah, so that you can switch between wizard configuration and low-level configuration whenever this is feasible for what you're doing. Also, at the last page, when the settings opens up, for example, whether you want your button box to be shown all the time or not. This is also now sensitive for changes you do in the meantime using the settings here in Simulator Startup. So I'm trying to make things more interconnected, and this will improve over the next few releases. So I think I've told you everything. Any more questions remaining? Seems not. So then, yeah, we are finished for today. The next session, I think it will be in 2 weeks, and there I will show you how to create your own metadata files for simulators which supports modding, for example, Assetto Corsa. So if you buy a car or get a car from the internet, or track how to integrate this stuff into a simulator controller, so that everything, especially the setup workbench, recognizes all the modded setup options and so on. I think we will have this session in 2 weeks. Okay, so thank you and bye-bye for today.